Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live at 5 here at Broadway.com headquarters. It is Friday, April 19th. I am Caitlin Moynihan.
And I'm Andy Lefkowitz.
And over there, we got Eric King himself.
Hello, everyone.
Whoop, whoop. And we got...
Oh my God, guys. We have two-time Tony nominee Christopher Sieber here.
Yeah.
From the Prom!
Making rainbow dreams come true.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes, we love the Prom.
Oh, and we love Chris Sieber.
And we love Chris Sieber, and I cannot wait to talk to him. But before we do that, we're going to do today's top 5.
Okay, so this double monologue is coming back in a big way.
Yeah, so this news kind of came in
This came
unexpectedly.
like middle of Live at 5 yesterday. I was like...
So we found out that Seawall A Life, which is, as Eric said, a 2-part monologue that played the Public Theater a few months ago, will transfer to Broadway this summer. The big news about this is that it stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Sturridge, each of them performing one of these monologues.
Love it.
It's an incredibly moving production. They both kind of perform these pieces about grief. They're going to play the Hudson Theater beginning on July 26th and opening on August 8th for a limited run through September 29th. So be sure to check this out.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and they're recording another Broadway show.
Oh, okay. I like that one. That one's good. But yeah, Kiss Me Kate, the revival Kiss Me Kate is getting a soundtrack or a cast recording.
Yeah, cast recording.
I had to
Watch
catch
it.
myself. I know, as I said soundtrack, I realized it was
Hey.
the wrong thing. My many apologies. But yes, so we're getting a cast album. We're super excited. The revival, which obviously stars Kelly O'Hara, Will Chase, Corbin Blue, Stephanie Styles. Adrian Warren has that.
Adrian Walker. Close though.
Warren
they both can sing.
Adrian
their faces
Warren
off,
is going to be
yeah,
Tina Turner.
Tina.
That's it.
But
She's coming
this is a
soon.
Gorgeous revival.
Yeah, it's
so excited
great.
to hear it on the cast album.
It began previews on Valentine's Day and it opened March 14th. And I think they're recording the album on April 22nd. So we know when they're recording it. We don't know when we're getting it yet. So TBD on that. But congratulations, everybody.
Yes.
And this world premiere musical has extended by a septet.
Oh,
Look at that.
That's
very
good.
cute.
That was good.
So the new musical Octet, written by Dave Malloy, who we all know from The Great Comet, has been extended at Off-Broadway's Signature Theater. It was originally announced to end its run on June 9th. It will now run through June 16th, and it hasn't even begun performances yet. So we found out that today. It starts performances on April 30th. It opens on May 19th. This musical explores addiction within the messy context of 21st century technology. So it sounds really cool. An incredible cast led by Margot Seibert, who we adore.
Love her.
So super pumped about this. Go see it.
Margot and I grew up in the same county.
No way.
Fun facts, just saying.
That's
Shout out to
amazing.
Howard County, Maryland.
Yes.
What's up? All right, sorry.
And actors want to see Laurie Metcalf in a play too, and now they can.
This is always, I love every time we get an announcement about an actor's fun performance because, it's just another way for more people who are actually in the theater community to be able to go and support other work. So, Hillary and Clinton is the next show to have an actor's fun performance. Hillary and Clinton, which opened last night, stars John Lithgow and Laurie Metcalf as Hillary and Bill Clinton. This special midnight performance is happening Thursday, May 16th at 11:59 p.m. Don't be late.
Not a minute later.
Not a minute later,
Maybe
honey.
a minute
Then it'll
later.
be the whole next day. They're playing at the Golden Theater. It's super exciting for everybody. There's more chances for more people to be able to cheer on this new work.
And someone must have said his name 3 times because he's here.
Yes, y'all. So we have production photos for Beetlejuice, which is currently in previews at the Winter Garden Theater. This production opens on April 18th, and it's based on the iconic film that we all adore. The production stars Alex Brightman as Beetlejuice, along with Sophia Ann Caruso, Leslie Kritzer, Carrie Butler, Rob McClure, Adam Danheiser. Incredible cast. Gorgeous design by David Corrins, who did our set here.
He did the studio.
So check out those photos on the site and go see Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and also on the site, we got, as you know, we've been talking every day. We've been doing this exclusive in-depth series of To Kill a Mockingbird featuring Aaron Sorkin, and he's giving us all the good gold nuggets from his brain. And today's feature that just went up is on Will Pullen, who plays Jem, and I saw To Kill a Mockingbird last night, and it was amazing.
It's really incredible.
It was really cool to just get another look about how he's playing, 12 to
Yes.
almost 13-year-old. So make sure you look
Wow.
at that. Of course, Hillary and Clinton opened last night. We got awesome arrival photos. We got an on the scene that went up. Super awesome. And then we have a feature on the wonderful Michaela Diamond, who was just recently sitting right where you
Yes.
are, Andy. You did a little feature and some photos on her, so make sure you go check out everything. Also, Gary opens on Sunday
Yes,
It
Gary,
kicks
a
off the
sequel to
week
Titus Andronicus.
by Taylor Mack. So
Indeed.
happy almost opening to all of you.
Yes, y'all.
Andy, this has been great.
You bet.
I love chatting with you, but
Yes.
I like talking to Christopher Sieber more, so I'm
I
going to
think
ask
that's
you to leave.
fair. I think that's fair.
Eric, could you tell us a little bit more about today's guest?
I would love to. Okay. Christopher Sieber is dancing the night away at the Prom on Broadway. Sieber earned Tony nominations for his work in Spamalot and Shrek the Musical, and also appeared in Matilda, Thoroughly Modern Millie, Pippin, and more. His screen credits include Two of a Kind and It's All Relative. Follow him on Instagram at Christopher_Sieber and leave all your questions in the comments below. Please welcome Christopher and Caitlin.
Hi, which camera? Which camera? Which that one? The red light. I see it. Okay.
It'll
Hi.
follow us. It'll
Hi.
follow us.
Oh, really?
Look, guys, it's the guy from Talk to the Hand.
Hi, Talk to the Hand. 90s sitcom. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing? It's
I'm-
Christopher.
I'm-
Guys, I have to take a second. I am freaking out. I'm sitting next to Christopher Sieber right now.
Stop it.
Do you-
Stop it. I'm adorable. I know. I'm adorable.
I have been a big fan of yours
thank
for
you.
so long.
Thanks.
It is such a pleasure to be talking to you. How are things going over at the Prom?
It's amazing. We have most of the cast, Brooks Ashmanskis, Beth Level, Angie Schwarr, and myself have been involved with it since it's very, pretty much since the beginning of its idea. Casey Nicola saw, our director, choreographer, saw us on the street. Well, I was on the street, and he kind of called everybody else about 7 years ago. And he says, "Hey, I got something for you." I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Sure.
Sure, whatever. And he said, "I'll call you in a couple weeks." And so he did. He actually called, and then we
Followed
we
through.
went to his studio, and we sat at a table in his studio, and we read this thing. We didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. And it turned into what is now the Prom. By the way, I have to mention that
It turned into this beauty.
This is a vintage playbill now. So if you have one of these are collector's items because we redid all our artwork now. So that was
OG.
that's
This is going to be on eBay.
that
I
is-
love this artwork.
No,
so
I
yeah, isn't
love
it
this
cool?
artwork,
It's really
too.
cool. But we did a
Love
little different artwork to sell the show a little better, and it's working very well. But
Now you got
that's vintage.
You got like a
vintage.
purple backdrop now with all the
really
lights, some
celebrating.
zazz.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
got some
yeah,
zazz now.
Yeah, it looks like a great hit, which
Yeah,
it is.
It very much
But
is.
yeah, so that's what happened. We went and we read around, and they wrote it with us in mind, which doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And
amazing.
then they were so gracious enough, Bob Martin and Chad Beglin and Casey Nicola and Matthew Sklar, they were so generous, letting us just kind of run with things. And a lot of what we just kind of threw in and improv is now in the show forever.
Amazing.
And so and the greatest thing of all is we've all known each other for 20 years or more, all of
Love
us.
that.
Like friends. I worked with Casey Nicola in Thoroughly Modern Millie when he was in the ensemble.
That's amazing.
And now he's Casey Nicola. And I've known Angie and Brooks. And Brooks and I did a show called Paper Moon out at Paper Mill Playhouse that was supposed to be on Broadway. And
Oh, yeah.
it closed out of town. But that's where I met Brooks. That was 26 years ago.
Holy moly.
And I knew Matthew Sklar when he was a rehearsal pianist at Paper Mill Playhouse. I think he was 17 or 18 years old. I mean, I've known these people forever. So getting into a room with these people and creating a Broadway show, it was, Beth Level says it best, it was the easiest hard work ever. It was so great.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was just heaven. And every day we laugh.
Yeah.
I've never been in a rehearsal hall since Spamalot, actually,
Yeah.
where there's so much laughter in the rehearsal hall constantly.
I love that. Because, we've had a lot of people from the Prom on Live at 5 and doing different things because we love it so very much.
It's really good.
It's really good, you guys.
We
I
love it.
promise.
We love
and
it.
I feel like the constant thing has just been how much fun you guys have
We're having a
together.
blast.
And that, as Beth Level says, like it's hard work
Yeah.
putting up a new,
Yeah.
and a completely original
Original,
new musical.
Yeah,
that
based on an idea.
Based on,
And-
yeah. And just like how much fun it must have been to be able to have that process together. So how are you guys feeling now? We talked beforehand. You guys have been open since November.
Yep.
So how has that been now that you guys are kind of like in it and you guys have your routine? Like how do you kind of change it up a little bit?
Well, that's the one thing we do. People ask us a lot of times. So it looks like you guys are kind of like improving things, and it's actually no,
Wow.
we're not. But we are constantly trying to make each other giggle every single show. But the show looks like it's kind of just falling out of our faces a bit, which is great. But that's the way we rehearse the show because, like I said, they let us kind of just run with things, and so that's that kind of spirit. So it kind of looks like it's just literally happening right in front of you, like we're making it up almost. But they said, "So are you guys?" And then that's all scripted.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read the script, we say exactly what's on the page, and it's a great, amazing thing. I'm so happy with it. But yeah, we make each other laugh. I mean, that's our goal.
That's
but I've
amazing.
never worked with three comedians that are so good at just setting you up, and we all set each other up so much, and
Yeah.
I haven't had that experience where it's just so great, so great.
And it's so obvious to tell as an audience member too, to tell like how much fun you guys are having.
Oh, we're
on
having a
stage.
blast.
Just having so much fun. And you know, you said that because your characters are kind of based on you.
A little bit, yeah, it says yes.
Do you ever think about how, like, in like 20 years from now, like a
Somebody's
high
play-
school,
somebody's
someone's gonna be
play it,
playing?
yes, yeah. Yes, I have thought about that. Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Trent Oliver is he's based on me a bit, and then he's based on a couple other people that I
Yeah.
kind of put in there as well. He's the hardest part I've ever. I think is the hardest part I've ever had to play.
Really?
Because I usually get to play behind, Miss Trunchbull. I get to play behind a fat suit and a big wart and a crazy wig, or Lord Farquaad. I was, on my knees in that crazy costume. I was always over the top crazy characters. And this one, he's a real guy.
Yeah.
And if you read the script, he's not funny. He's not a funny guy. I mean, if you read it, you're
Like
like,
straight through.
he's
Yeah.
straight through. You're like, yeah. But it's to find the character of making Trent funny is because he's so boring. He's so boring, and he's like bore around, and he's just like he won't stop, and he has no idea. He has no
He's
idea.
not very
that
self-aware.
But he's a former member of Actors Equity Association, and he still thinks he's a star. So
There it is.
he's like, yes, isn't it great? Yeah. There was a time when I gave him this weird affectation. I decided to drop it, but I decided that Trent went to England one time. He went to England one time, and he really liked the way they sounded. So every now and then he'd say a word that would have kind of just an affectation, and it was kind of annoying. But I thought it was funny, but nobody laughed at it. So anyway, but yeah,
I
he
would've
went to
laughed.
England once. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And we have to talk about all the cool news that's been out since Ryan Murphy.
Crazy.
Did you guys see that coming at all?
No.
How did you
No.
find out that
Well,
this was all happening?
Luckily, we are kind of on the inside track. Our producers are gracious and great with us. They always tell us kind of what's going on, but there wasn't anything definite.
Yeah.
And Dory Bernstein, our producer, called us the day before and said Ryan Murphy has bought the rights to The Prom, and he is making it a Netflix movie. Who knows if we're involved? I think
Fingers
maybe
crossed,
I
crossing
had,
my
but
fingers.
it was a fantastic evening because Ryan Murphy bought out the entire house, and he had about 300 kids from the Hetrick Martin Institute.
That's incredible.
Who had probably never seen a Broadway show ever in their
Yeah.
life. And they're gay youth. And they saw a show that represents them. And they saw themselves. And they were going crazy. It was a crazy night. And Glenn Close was there, and all the boys in the band were there, and Jake Gyllenhaal was
Casual.
outside watching and smoking, I think. No, I don't know. But
ready.
it was like a night full of stars. It was crazy. It was wonderful. And then we had this wonderful party afterwards, and kind of like I said, I don't know if we're going to be involved. I hope so.
I'm crossing my fingers.
I hope we're involved in it. But I think it's great because the message is what I think is the most important.
Yeah.
But Brooks and I were talking. I was like, "Yeah, did you see your replacement last night?" And I was like, "Was it Matt Morrison or is it Andrew Reynolds?" Is it Andrew Reynolds? That's probably. And then Glenn Close was there, and I was like, "Yeah, well, that's Dee Dee Allen right there." I mean, can you imagine Glenn Close as
doing
Dee Dee
Ladies
Allen?
Improving?
Oh my God, that would be hilarious, and I think Glenn would be totally up for it.
That
so.
is
But yeah, that's
perfect.
exciting. That's
It's very
great.
exciting.
To be able to show this amazing story, The
Yes.
Prom, to basically the world. So
It's such an incredible platform
Yeah.
for what I think is such an important show to have on Broadway
Yeah.
this season. Let alone just to be made, but to have it specifically on Broadway. How has the response and fan and audience interaction meant to you these past few months?
every audience is different, and so you kind of adjust to the audience. And our show, the way it starts is it's at the opening night of Eleanor, and people, it's the prom. And why are we at an opening night of Eleanor? Why are we here? And then we get into it, and it's that the first scene is the hardest thing that we had to create, to be able to set up the show in such a way that's funny and doesn't make us look like jerks, because that was a challenge. So when we have an audience that's not as boisterous, I suppose, we always have to remember they're going to laugh in about 2 more pages because it's the whole exposition of the show has to be set up. And so once we get there, they go nuts. They go crazy, and we get them like that. And then it's a ride because they know where we're going. They know what it's about. The greatest thing is, like we were talking about earlier with the Hedrick Martin Institute, every single day, every single performance at the stage door, there is a kid waiting for an autograph, and they have tears in their eyes and they're shaking because they have seen themselves and they have been represented. And
How incredible.
I mean, they're literally holding and shaking, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay, come here, give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they tell us their stories, and it's so great. And we've had audience members too that have said, if I had known if I had heard what this show was about, I probably would not have come.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so glad I did come.
Wow.
And when we were in Atlanta trying it out, we had a talk back, and there was a woman who said, "I am Mrs. Green." Mrs. Green is kind of the antagonist of the show, although there's no enemies in our show. But
No enemies.
I was Mrs. Green, and I wanted my daughter not to be a lesbian. And then went outside in the lobby and met her daughter and her wife and her granddaughter. And this is my granddaughter. This is my. I know, right?
How do you even?
I mean, we're like, oh,
Sobbing.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Allergies.
It was so it's the way
Wow.
this show touches people is so great, and I'm so glad, and we do it with such humor, and
It's so real.
It's so real,
It's so real.
and we can make you laugh, and then we'll cry right away, and then laugh again. It's like the Bob and Chad, and it was just they did such a great job. Great job.
Because it's truly just a natural thing watching on stage. I'm like, that's happened. I know, I know those, it's like I know an Emma, I know that I know so many different people. I know Mrs. Green, and that's amazing. And I love that people love it so much. So Eric, do we have any fan questions?
People love it. It's
so many.
All up in the Facebook comments.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's do. Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
What's it like playing such a lovable character as a change of pace from your previous musical comedy villain roles?
I'm lovable. Oh, thank you. Like I said, it's a hard part to play because he's a weirdo. He's a weird guy.
That's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah.
But they're all lovable.
Yeah, I mean they're all lovable. I mean you when you do Trunchbull, even though she's so evil, you still love her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But it is. I would say this is very hard because it's kind of playing your evil twin a little bit. So it is difficult. It's a hard part to play, and I always look at it especially this character as far as comedy goes. You know those commercials for paper towels when they put the grapes on it and they run it under the sink faucet, and they're like, look how strong our paper towel is. That's my idea of comedy when I have it, because if you don't drop the grape. Don't drop the grape. That grape is your comedy, and that's the tension on the paper towel. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of idea, because if you put too much on it, it's going to break and no one's going to laugh.
Yeah.
So you push it to the limit, but not too far.
Love that.
And Trent is hard to play. It's hard to play that part.
Wow.
Cool. Okay, we'll do one more. Is that okay?
Yeah. All
Okay,
good.
cool. So there's so much great Casey Nicholaw supercharged choreography in this show. What is your favorite song to dance to?
Did you know that there's a lot of dancing in the prom?
Oh my
Chris?
God!
Did
Well,
you know?
you know what? I was talking about this. The funny thing is, I was surprised that there wasn't a tap number in the prom. There is no tap number.
Oh, you're right.
There should
always,
be.
There should be.
You know what? In a
Casey?
Casey Nicholaw show, there's always a tap number, always, and there isn't one in this. Instead, he decided, I'm going to learn hip hop, and he decided to his 50-year-old friends, I'm going to make you do hip hop, and we had remedial dance.
You guys did a remedial hip hop.
We had to, because the kids, and I couldn't call them kids because I'm old now. The kids it's like a second language to them, and they pick it up like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa, what was that? What is that step? Yeah, it's like and they do it with such ease. And we were like, I don't even know what that is. What's happening here? So we named the dance steps, step into the shower, put the towel on, put the thing. And we did it like that. That's how we learned the steps.
I love that.
We had to beat it into our bodies every single day.
I love that.
And the poor kids had to wait for us to catch up to them.
love
Now that you know it, it's so much fun, and just like anything, you know.
Once it's in your bones.
Once it's in your bones in your body, you never forget. You will never forget this.
You'll be doing this in 20
I
years.
will do
Just be
this
like,
forever. And
hear
a
the
day.
song and just
Yeah,
start time
yeah.
to dance. You're just gonna
You know,
go
I
into it.
it was on the one of the radio stations on the Sirius
Yeah.
radio station, and I felt myself driving the car, and I'm like, build a prom forever. Holding onto the steering wheel. Yeah.
Swerving all
Swerving
over
around
the
a little
place.
bit.
I love that. I just picturing the four of you guys doing a remedial hip hop dance class together. Thank you for that image.
Yeah, we have a
Thank
video
you
of it.
so
We have
much.
we have a video of it.
Feel
but-
free to email that to me. because I love that
It
so
might be
very
it
much.
might be kind of filthy, so we don't know, because we were at a point in rehearsal where it's becoming a little frustrating
Just getting a little
because we
bit.
can't get it, so we might have started swearing during
That's
that.
fine.
So.
That's fine. I just need that in my life. I
Okay.
think. Thank you so much
No,
for
my pleasure.
coming.
Thanks for
you
having us.
Talking all things to prom.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome anytime
Oh,
you want.
thank
Just
you.
pop on by.
Okay.
You guys, if you haven't seen the prom, what are you doing? Go see the prom.
Literally, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Broadway.com Audience Choice Award winner.
What are you doing?
What are you
Oh,
doing?
no. Show of the year.
Show of the year 2018, y'all.
Awkward.
But if you've seen it already, see it again.
You have to. It's so good.
We've all seen it multiple times. Go over to the Longacre Theater.
Yeah, Longacre Theater.
They're there. They're having a prom.
We're having a
Go build
blast.
yourself a prom. Thank you so much
guys,
for
thank you,
coming.
guys.
Eric,
Thank
could
you.
you please take us out?
I would love to. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. And if you like a podcast, we've got a podcast. So go to wherever you get those and slam that subscribe button. Okay, be sure to turn in on Monday when we talk to Alex Brightman of Beetlejuice.